Draw the outline of mountains, a hint of the clouds, and then add the shadows of the mountain peaks and ridges. Add some rolling hills in the foreground, but use the side of your pencil and the weight of your hand to make light marks that won't show through the paint. Our first layer will be washes of color. Working from the back to front, you want to think about your highlights first. So let's wet the sky, but avoid the clouds. We're going to put water only where we want the paint to go, which will stop the paint from spreading into our highlights. Mix a light blue and fully load a paintbrush. Add your paint to the wet paper. You can use more water or paint to move the color around so that it fills up the sky. Remember, you're avoiding those highlight areas. Next, decide the highlight and shadow areas in the mid-ground mountains. Mix purple and yellow together to get a light brown. Wash the shadows and avoid the highlights in the middle ground. Try to keep your wet paint from touching other wet areas of the paper, and this will stop the two colors from bleeding together. Finally, wash the foreground with at least 3 variations of green. I used red and green mixed together, blue-green, and yellow-green. These foreground colors are going to flow together to mix, but if you don't like the way that something bleeds, use a clean, dry brush to soak up some of the paint. Alright, on to our second layer. You've got to dry this wash layer completely before moving on. The second layer of paint will be glazed over the top of the first. Because watercolor is transparent, see-through, the colors will mix in the areas that the layers overlap. It will make the painting darker, or it'll even change the color in those areas. Again, we're working from the background forward. So starting in the sky, avoiding those highlights, let's glaze the sky with a blue-purple anywhere we want it to get darker. Glaze the mountains with variations of blue mixed with orange. Paint right over the whole mid-ground. The shadows will stay darker because of the wash layer below. On the hills in the mid-ground, add texture by glazing blue-green trees over our wash layer. You want to use a fine point dry brush to add this detail. Dry this second layer completely. Then prep your paint by mixing red and green and yellow-green. Dry your brush with a paper towel and start adding grass to the foreground. So look at your painting overall and add a layer to anywhere that you need to darken something or you want to sharpen an edge. This is your chance to do some final touches. Hopefully this exercise of building up color and glazed layers will help you when you're designing your own work. Thanks for watching and happy painting.